Hey, successfully nobody was talking. So,
What?
yeah, I don't know. Something. Uranus wasn't talking. RJ wasn't talking. Newbie. McLeod's the only one that's generally pretty, good, well
I
behaved.
just do it to troll
Yeah.
you, dude.
I know.
That's
I
just,
know. That's why I excluded you. You know that, right? Pap, no Pap. Sorry.
uh,
And by the way, Omen Slayer, here on this show, you only get a second Pap if we go 3 hours. Okay, we go an hour and a
I
half.
can,
Fuck you. You're not getting a second Pap. Okay.
I
Whole
can make
conversation
that.
on that this morning.
Kate make a tap and
It's like this.
collect
Paps
everyone
all
and
around.
flip.
Paps all around. Paps all around. So everybody, welcome to another edition of Push to Talk. Sorry for the restart in there. Um, I had not set the title, so I had to restart. So we actually got the right title on the video of the day. Otherwise, I screw that up. So that's my bad. We were having a fun in the pre-show. Moomin, let me explain this to you. We don't do nudes on the show because Twitch doesn't let us. But talk to newbie.
No, we totally would.
Talk to
You know,
newbie. Maybe we can make a special exception for you in Discord or something to help you out. I don't know what you.
because we totally would be getting McLeod to start stripping on stream if we could.
I'd pay for that.
I mean, that's the natural choice, right?
I'd pay for that. Anybody that keeps his beard that neatly
I
trimmed,
know.
I'm kind of curious.
I was thinking about getting them
You
a
know, right?
beard.
Look at that. Look at
That's
that.
a nice beard.
So
It'll be coming in our new merch store.
oh,
So
we're
it's
getting
like,
a
so-
should you do like lightning bolts, or is there like the big Superman S? How'd you do?
So I would just like to
Oh.
point.
Look at that.
to
Moomin's
everybody-
got it. Moomin's got it out there. The Man Garden.
So I would just like to point out that the Steam sale happened this week, and I got Stellaris for on sale, or not Stellaris.
There's been so much controversy about the Steam sale. Like,
I got Subnautica.
Hey.
I got Subnautica on sale, and oh my god, I have been
Oh.
playing that way
did-
too much.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Bartos, 14 months subbing, tier 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
dude, thank you.
Yep. Drifters versus
Hey, you
Terrellian
missed
soon,
my
TM.
2 months up.
Is it today? Did you do it today?
Yeah.
So I noticed at the top it tells me I have 2 days remaining on my sub. It says continue sub, 2 days remaining.
Where does it say that?
It
It's
says
in the
it
drop down.
in the.
Oh,
yeah.
that's me and Bud. Fuck that. I don't
Buttons.
care. Just send me a
Yeah.
fucking bill.
The most
I can't
important
be
thing
cool
is
until July 15th.
the most important thing is you know where the undock button is. Oh,
I do.
Oh.
I do.
oh,
Drifters know where the undock button is.
oh.
I do. Twitter has been really fun this week. It's just been awesome.
Did you like my Twitter with Hilmar today and everybody else?
Oh shit! I have a text. Let's see
Oh.
who this is from.
Oh, is that a segue?
Oh, I did not get cussed out.
What'd you get? Did you get like a polite reply?
I got a LOL. Thanks.
Oh, is this from,
So we'll explain this. We'll explain this to the audience, right, and everybody else. So it was just Newbie and I in comms earlier, and we were chatting. And so tomorrow it is number one's graduation party from high school.
Hey,
My dad is complaining about this little graduation party because my mother decided that there needed to be a giant party at their house with a swimming pool. When, number one only wanted to take the family to dinner at Taco Bell. Okay, very important. His favorite restaurant, Taco Bell. And so mom went to pick up the cake and decided, hey, watermelon would be a great fruit to have at this little pool party. And she's at Costco, for those who know or don't know. Costco, right? You can pick up the boxes off the shelf, or they keep them in a little thing, and you can put things in. I said, if you get watermelon, put it in a box. But no, she decided, hey, I'm just going to wedge it between the trunk side and something heavy. It won't roll around. Crunch. Now, luckily, it's only a corner of the cake, but she came in and she was like, oh, you'll never believe what I did. I messed up the cake. I have to go to Target, which we call Target, because, Target.
It's owned by the French. That's
Yeah.
why I used RJ.
Yes.
Ah,
and
okay.
and she goes, I have to go get a thing of icing. We can fix it. We'll just use icing like plaster.
Can I call it that corner of the cake? I would like that super icing corner of the cake.
Yeah, I already claimed it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I understand your
Fuck you.
It's just going to make... I know what's going to happen right now. It's just going to make it more noticeable.
Hold it. It's going to be like, 85 degrees tomorrow, right? I could just see it. It's like, it's going to be like a glacier sliding off the corner of the cake before we got it. It's going to be like... So then Newbie goes, I said, we're going to talk about this because, she's not going to be home and we can talk about her, right? And Newbie goes, oh, I'm going to text her, ask her for a response on this. So that was Newbie's text. She took it in, as she does many things, in stride. So
That's because she likes me, and that's fortunate.
yeah, she would have come in and smacked me, but Newbie, she's like, yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him.
She knows where her bacon comes from and her sausage.
She does.
Ooh, kinky.
My
Okay, Mr.
Oh, the
Mr.
angry German.
the angry
My
Germans
favorite
here.
angry German.
I love.
Yay.
You know what? I was just quiet in command comm, Soth. I was just being kind of cool, kind of quiet, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm writing down notes. Soth said, we're going to use this as a quote. It's awesome in the show. But I'm very glad you're here. Because we do want to talk about the biggest thing to ever hit EVE Online and make it awesome. The Drifter invasion.
I thought you were going to say my... Never.
No, it's not your penis.
Well-
Haven't drifters been invading since like 2016?
No,
Yeah.
this is... You should
You're
actually
thinking of
log
something.
in.
Yeah, you should log in
Your
already.
end.
Been poking and not doing anything really important.
Ooh, I had a little skip in the show.
Yeah, I saw
Or are we
that.
talking?
It's
the fact that
lightning.
we now have. Or are we talking now about the fact that we now have actual evidence that drifters are actually coming in and messing up our structures and stuff?
You mean actual evidence? Like, I've been dealing with this.
Actual evidence? Don't
Oh,
even
'cause,
say how
like,
long
we
you've been
say-
dealing with it, because
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
real
care.
quick.
Go
Just real
deal with
quick.
it for a week. I don't care. Shut up.
Just real quick, and you guys can go do whatever you want. I just want to warn everybody, if we disappear, I do have a heavy thunderstorm warning in my area. And so if we disappear, hey, we'll try and get back as quickly as we can. All right, go guys. This riveting. Oh, by the way, did
this
you like that?
morning, This morning, I launched at least, I don't know, 1 million drifters, and then I wiped my Hilmar, so it felt very engaging.
I will confirm that like 10 minutes before the show, he goes, I got to go take a Hilmar. I'll be right back.
Woo!
Yeah.
Engaging gameplay!
Harsh.
I would like to pick up a question from chat. Someone put up a post on Reddit and said the drifters hit about 2 to 3 systems per region every day, except for Delph, where they hit like 15 plus.
Right.
Maybe is it actually smart and based off of what am I thinking of the indexes?
Concentration of
No.
actual structure.
Delph isn't the only region that is high in indexes.
No, it's random. I mean, I'm not going to put a tinfoil hat on and say, oh, but it's random. It's
Hey, not every
I
system
don't-
in every region has a citadel, by the way. Just
Yeah, I don't think it's random. It is hitting pretty consistently the same systems day after day, at least at this point.
Well, I think that's an actual bug. I think there's something wrong with their coding, that it's because it's spawning in systems where they've been destroyed, and some systems where they were destroyed, they haven't So it's hard to, I don't know. There's
someone's
Some
in
heavy
chat
use of
saying,
RNG right now going on.
What Soth?
someone's saying a way to clear the trap. The thing is, they aren't actually hitting structures that are not in. They aren't hitting structures that are not defended, being left behind. They are hitting everything. This is not a way to get rid of the trash. This is just some ham-fisted way to shove PvE down our throat.
true.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the problem. So I've been thinking about this, and I'm really trying not to be angry, Soft. I know that's hard for me to, and I'm not using the tinfoil hat on. What I don't understand, and CCP can kind of sort of do whatever the hell they want, and it's all well and good. So they shoved this god-awful SOV system down our throat. Now they're shoving this PvE crap down our throat, and the Reddit warriors are like, see, it makes you defend your space.
when haven't we?
What it does is it keeps you. It's like FuzzySov. It keeps you from going anywhere. It keeps you from having PvP. It keeps you from doing anything other than hanging out in your own little sandbox within the sandbox. And I think it's really up to the entire player base to decide: do we want to play EVE Online that is combat generated content, or do we want to do Minecraft and just worry about our own little world?
Well, one thing I
mean-
want to clarify: is this happening in high sec and low sec too, or is it just
No.
null sec?
Just Nelson.
Because somebody said they potted 12 people in high sec.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think it was happening anywhere else, right?
Um,
You want to clear the shit out. You clear out low sec structures that nobody's touching.
And it has nothing to do, and there is no rhyme or reason. I see that Bargo says it's about the Jove Observer. It hasn't. They don't have to be in this system. There's no unidentified wormhole. There's no Jove Observatory. It's completely. It's random.
I wouldn't say it's random because they have been pretty consistent in the structures, in the systems they've been hitting in Delve. I'd say about 70% of the systems they're hitting are reoccurring.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Bargus. Now that makes sense. But that has nothing to do with this invasion.
Yeah, what we're talking about, Burgos. We were talking about. Does anybody lend any credence to? Is this like an underhanded way, or CCP's passive aggressive way to reset nullsec?
This is CCP going like this is CCP trying to break up with us without even having the conversation of, hey, I want to break up.
I mean,
There you go. Horde undocks, guys, and I'm proving to you. I just sent you a link. Horde does undock, and this is how their battle's going with these strange invaders. So,
Well, if this whole thing is a way of Hilmar kind of making space dangerous again, like he's going about it the wrong way. I think it's just because it just makes you kind of like have to stay in your own space, and if you just stay in your own space, like having to defend against these like these random ass attacks, like it doesn't promote people kind of like fucking having goes at each other.
the thing is, the idea to use drifters to kind of like make nullsec more dangerous and to clean up the trash, quote unquote. That's nothing new. Like that has been brought up by multiple people already. It's just the way that they've implemented it is just so lackluster. Because I don't know, one thing we haven't talked about yet is that these things aren't actually working as intended completely. They are doing some pretty broken stuff. Today I saw a battleship that kept warping on grid and off grid to a save for half an hour. Like it would come on grid and it would turn around and warp off again.
Right. Yeah, never be targetable.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
behavior's been happening all.
I saw drifters attacking a structure, and after a few of them were killed, the rest walked to 500 kilometers away from the structure, out of locking range, and kept shooting the structure at 500 kilometers.
Yep.
Yep.
So-
they've been doing that. So I did an experiment, which is bad. You know, I know it was bad because I was like, "Hey, hold my beer, watch it." So I pimped out an Inti that did like 7K a second, and
That's one guy.
I kind of burned toward the 500 ones, trying to think if I turned around, could I bring them back to the structure? So I got at 200K, I got yellow boxed. At 180K, I got red boxed and was insta-blapped. And the transversals were like 7K or whatever the hell they were. Then I was looking at my screen. I was like,
Did you get the game set?
So-
I won't do that again.
So I had a little. I was actually surprised that Hilmar actually responded to my tweet this morning, right? And that tells me something. And I want everybody on the show to know I'm responding in the show rather than having a Twitter war with Hilmar, so that it's preserved forever, right?
Yes, because we know Hilmar is watching.
I don't really care, right?
Wait, what did
I
you
just want to share with you guys the
What'd you say,
stupidity of Hilmar's response to me. I mean, this is how dumb I actually think this is, right? I mean, I said, they have no clue what to do, which, by the way, comes from Hilmar in a little press conference thing, right? He actually said, we don't know what we're doing to fix the things that we broke in Eve, right? Essentially, the question was, you broke Eve, what are you going to do to fix it? And he goes, we don't know what we're going to do. But, I would rather do the wrong thing than do nothing, right?
Right.
So, and then we have this,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
That's
his
paraphrasing
response to me,
Q&A.
right, that's a paraphrase. And he tells me, welcome to the last few decades of Eve online development. They've never had a clue, right? That's why it's so unprecedented, out of control. So my real response to that, if you never had a clue how to make Eve work, that means it was an accident that you were successful. And I say it's an accident, and that's even backed up by every single venture you've attempted to do in anything other than Eve has been an utter and disgraceful failure. Okay? So maybe they don't. And if they don't, who gives these people money, and who thinks they're ever going to be successful doing anything else? I mean, that's the stupidity of the reply that I got in my mind. I don't know what you guys think, but give me some
No, I
feedback on
definitely
it.
I definitely think that Eve was a mistake, and none of us should have played it because we would have all been happier in our lives if we weren't.
Gunjack was a failure because it's not being developed today. It's just left out there to die, Noisy. There isn't a single piece of software they've ever built. By the way, we're getting giant fucking hail outside.
Oh,
How are you getting hail? I don't even live like 100 miles from you, and there's nothing.
Let's put it this way. 2 miles away from me, there are a few thousand houses that need new roofs because the last time we got hail.
I think
That's
we have.
CCP solved.
I think we have to explain what these things are doing, because this massive fucking troll named Okulo in chat keeps arguing about, they just do what players. No, they fucking don't. Carriers can be easily probed down and warped on top when they have their fighters out attacking. Right? These things go 1,500 meters per second. They MWD around the grid like frigates. They have tiny signatures. They cannot be descaped. They cannot be probed. They do the same DPS as a carrier at 500 kilometers with near perfect application,
And no cap.
and they have a doomsday. You tell me any player that can fucking do that. They can probe you down and warp on top of you without any problems whatsoever.
Southersill, I think you need to calm down because you're missing like the biggest part of this, Drifters are meant to not be soloed. You elitist cut.
yeah. Let's see how many fleets have been successful thus far.
So
They just
response
escalate with-
a response
they
to
just escalate
Xerath,
over
right?
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Whipler said this, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. Maybe it was Tuzzy. Like they had a discussion, right? It wouldn't be so bad if these would form up somewhere, and then you could watch them move to their target system, because then you could follow them, then you could react to them. But that's not what's happening. Players do that. Players form up, they bridge somewhere, you can have scouts in their staging systems, you can watch them, right? You know it's coming. These things, they just pop into existence and immediately start shooting your structures. Players don't fucking do that.
Yeah, if you're gonna be putting together like something that like, you know, we as like nullsec players have to fight against, at least give us at least have it in it some way fucking logical, like, and don't shroud it in the bullshit of like, oh well, you know, there's stuff that you haven't found out about it yet, etc. Like, yeah, fuck off.
But lore, and you're not following the lore, and you need to follow the lore.
You know the fucking annoying thing about like the whole lore stuff is, yeah, fair enough, there are some stuff in, you know, that has been written about various different aspects of drifters and all of the fucking ancient races and stuff, right? But like when it comes down to the brass tacks of actually like, you know, implementation into like the actual game, like they do it in such a half-assed way that, like, you know, it basically ends up becoming like, you know, the fucking annoying, like, it just becomes the whole kind of lore thing, and like, oh, you don't quite, you know, there's stuff still to be revealed. It becomes
I know what you're trying to say. And I'm going to explain it better. It's like a Destiny. It's a Destiny problem where you can have all this amazing world building, but if it's not in the game, you know, if the world building you're trying to do is not in the game, then it, as far as the players are concerned, it doesn't exist.
So well, it doesn't exist, but you can't just use it as a fucking cop-out either.
Quick info here for Petrolute. Yes, they do use the Doomsday when their super shield gets depleted.
Absolutely. The challenge that I have
people call it
is
super shield. I really was hoping people would go
the
like
overshield.
Call it
overshield.
You know,
call it the overshield. If you're gonna insult them, at least insult them correctly. God.
Okay, so the lore in nullsec, and what Eve says it is player driven. The history, the great things that happen in the game in nullsec, it's a sandbox. It's player driven. Okay, the things that happen in lowsec and highsec, hey, they have events and they do things there. They generally don't do them in nullsec. And the reason you don't do them in nullsec is because you have essentially two different types of players in Eve, right? What you have is a group of players in Eve that create the history of Eve, being forced to play a game that CCP has decided they are going to play. And I've got to tell you, I'm quickly getting to the point where I say, fuck it, pack it all up, stop logging in for a month, and then we'll just come back and take Delve again when this is all over, if it's ever all over. It's not what I come to Eve to play. Eve is merely the place that our community gathers. When there's a better Eve, we'll be gone, and so will Eve.
Is there a better Eve right now?
Not yet.
Minecraft?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But when there is, that's when CCP's time runs out.
So that's when you say PvP Minecraft.
If CIG would get their head out of their asses, it's a possibility.
Well, wait for things like Stadia and things to begin to happen.
CIG have some fucking serious issues with their accounts and their finances right now. So
CIG
that's
is
what I'm
the
saying.
company
which is fucking hilarious.
CCP, by the way,
how much money they have.
If CCP hadn't been sold, I guarantee they'd be having problem with their finances.
Oh yeah, totally.
So at
what point does Pearl Abyss step in?
I don't know if they will, because Pearl Abyss, when they bought CCP, seemed pretty much like, we're gonna buy you and you're gonna give us money, but for the most part, I don't feel like we want to like jump in and like do anything because you seem to be doing all right.
Who knows? This could be them. You just don't know it.
Actually, you know, the really funny thing is when you want, if you want to paraphrase, like, you know, the whole Pearl Abyss acquisition of CCP, essentially Pearl Abyss acquiring CCP was like, you know, Pearl Abyss was basically said to CCP, you guys know how to keep your player base happy. Teach us how to do that. Yeah, okay.
And then we let go the one guy who knows how to do that, and we keep the one guy who knows, or the two guys, actually. I'll say there's two guys that really know how to piss the player base off, and maybe there's three now. And they're the three most visual people in CCP land.
The only thing that may have a glimmer of hope is the fact that like I understand that, you know, Hilmar talking, or, you know, Hilmar replying to tweets and stuff like that kind of shows his ignorance with the game and sort of all that kind of jazz, right? But at least in doing so in a way where we can all fucking respond to him, we can correct that in some way, shape or form. So fucking, I hope to God that the fact that he's opened up a bit more to the community means that, like, he actually gets to understand the realities of EVE Online, the realities of where it's suffering, where it's kind of broken, where it's not working as intended. And he gets away from these fucking bullshit metrics that has served, you know, the direction for CCP and the direction for, you know, how he feels about the game. So, you know, maybe there's a fucking, you know, silver lining on that cloud, but you never know.
So
Go ahead.
Here's something with regard to that, Eric. So screw the drifter. I mean, you know, it's something that everybody's going to overcome and figure out. It's
right.
I think outside of high-sec pubbies who don't really understand the game and what goes on in Null, to a man, NCPL, PAM, whatever, GOTG, who cares? Everybody thinks this is dumb. So let's say that World War B was still happening and we were running a big ad campaign about, hey, come play EVE because we have this massive war where people are losing regions and all that, and it's goons getting their asses handed to them. But now NCPL is getting their asses handed to them. Hey, we got to release this, guys. This has to go out now.
Well, I wouldn't quite tinfoil hat it that much, but there certainly wasn't any marketing associated with, hey, goons are glassing a region. Isn't this cool? Well, you can only do this in this game, right? I would tinfoil hat that.
They actually held back with the updates regarding casinos during the casino. They held back until the war was over. Why didn't they hold back until this war was over with the Drifter? Because it was about to be over. Like, you could see it that we were winding down. We only needed a few days more. We aren't talking about weeks or months here.
Right.
No, I know. Yeah. But it's like I remember where the World War B did not come from a player. It was a CCP frickin' thing that came on the launcher. Hey, World War B. So they joined the meta there.
How do you have a world war in
Here
space?
They are again joining the meta. CCP has jumped back into, they want to be part of this meta in a game that is supposed to be a sandbox. And that's the issue I have. They did it with Brisk. They did it with many things in the past couple of years. And it's like, why do you keep wanting to join the meta?
Yeah, it's always interesting when we see things from CCP. I will tell you that I try to avoid it, but yes, I believe CCP internal people do not like Goon Swarm. And they would like to see it go away, and they think their game would be better if we weren't here. I do. And that is how CCP makes me feel, to be honest. Just as a player. I'm not leadership. I'm not Alliance leadership, folks. If anybody thinks I am not. I mean, seriously, I think CCP does not know how to revive their game. I think CCP has a 4% retention rate of new players, which is abysmal. And I'm willing to bet that when you include the subs that they lose on an annual basis, that percent's negative. And I think they're panicking.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
By the way, for everyone in chat saying that this is just goon salt, you can go over to Pandemic Horde and ask them what they think about this. You can go over to Fraternity and ask them what they think about it. Because I'm pretty sure they are hating this shit as well.
Yeah.
And there was a war going on long before we decided to go glass NCPL shit. And that was between Legacy and Fraternity. And it has been raging. I don't know what's happened over the last week or so in that war. I'm sure things have had to kind of sort of stop because both entities are going to go protect their shit. So literally, you've killed the content by the content generators, which are the players in the game. I mean, it makes no sense.
I don't know. I truly don't know. I've racked my brains. I'm like, what does CCP actually hope to accomplish with this? Because if it was gameplay that their customers enjoy playing, that isn't it. Okay? And by the way, I am not upset about this because I have to log in and defend structures. I do that because I am part of a team and I enjoy supporting the team. So that doesn't bother me. Actually doing it doesn't bother me at all. I think that this is terrible for the game. It makes people not want to play. And by the way, it doesn't take 1,000 people to defend your system against these things. Okay?
It takes one dude gunning a citadel. Woohoo!
And it's really funny because the funny thing about that, Noob, is like I only heard about the way that the optimal way of like getting, taking these gangs out by a ping that included basically the steps that you outlined. Like it was literally like a cut and paste of like Total Newbie saying this.
It was a cut and paste.
I was like, you legend, dude.
No, it's not that, Mac Daddy. It was, I'm telling you, man, 13 hours. I sat there. Everybody's going like, what the hell is Newbie doing? Why is he over here? Why is he over here? It's like, you guys don't see what's going on? It's like, okay, here. So I'm fighting these things, and I'm literally losing structure after structure after structure. And then I finally figured out what worked. And I'm not allowed to say what worked. But so I figured it out, sort of. And I'm sure there's somebody way smarter than me that actually knows maybe a step or two to add. But it's like, this is dumb.
Like the
this is like me
details,
against the invasion, and like, it's like, okay, so here, this is what I think we should do. They pinged it out, and now they're kind of sort of doing that, and it's just dumb. I'm sorry, Hilmar, CCP, but you guys fucked this up, and all you mouth-breathing high-sec pubbies, this is not content. So you can call it whatever you want, like, oh, they have to defend. It literally is not even 1/1000th of the Imperium that has to defend.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, it's like, it's one of those ridiculous things that like has Mal'Canus's law, or what was it? No, is it not It's not. I don't think it's Mal'Canus's law, but essentially, it's basically, this is going to affect smaller groups, larger, much more than larger groups, because they have to, they have to have the brain trust to figure out how to actually deal with it, and also the manpower to deal with it when they're at home as well. Whereas, Imperium, we got this shit.
Let's put this
right?
way.
To give you an idea, we have automated systems, right? Mm-hmm. We actually get pinged when our structures get attacked by these. We already have people ready to just go over, man the citadel, and shoot them. We have a plan how to shoot them. Every citadel is fitted so they can deal with them. We got this down. It's not like we can't deal with it. It is just super annoying.
It's just that, it's the fact that we had to put the brakes on and be like, not put the brakes on because, oh my God, it might fuck us all up. But it was just literally a case of, like, we don't know what we're dealing with. But once we've figured out what we're dealing with, it's nowhere near as bad as it could potentially have been.
Hey, it's pretty simple, right? It's not about people who hate Null enjoying Null, getting this stuff, right? It is about business. And CCP should be in the business of creating games and gameplay that is enjoyable to the customer. What it seems CCP has a history of, and this is one of the latest examples, is feeling that it is them against the customer. And when you create that atmosphere, it's one of animosity between your customers, and maybe it's another contributor to your low retention rate.
So I'm going to answer Xeris' question. So he's like, well, the more you guys talk, the less I'm getting it. Is it hitting you or not? So yes. Okay, so these fucking things, these drifter things, are going everywhere in Eve, as far as we can tell. And they hit everything. So they hit anything from a Retaru to a Keepstar, low power, high power, doesn't matter. They hit it. So jump bridges, jump gates, all that crap. So the point to get is that this doesn't require an alliance. It doesn't even require a core. Doesn't even require a fleet to handle. It requires a Citadel gunner. That's it. So you get your notification that your shit's getting hit. You send your little Citadel gunner out and you kill them all. And end of story. I mean, it's dumb. This is not content. There's no bounties. There's no money making with it. They drop some. This is going to piss the wormholers off, but they drop some kind of. I'm not into manufacturing, but some kind of T3 building components.
They drop blue goo, as the wormholes call it, having lived in wormholes.
Okay, so they drop blue goo, whatever the hell that is. I mean, I picked green goo out of my. So they drop all this shit. So now we're running around collecting it, and we're going to, of course, doing in typical Goon fashion, we'll mass market it, kill the market. So now not only have you pissed off Null, but now you've pissed off wormholers who you've literally pissed off forever, because fuck wormholers.
Yeah, so the stuff you sell is going to drop in value really quick with this event as we're scooping all this stuff up.
So it boils down to, what is the value? Where is the value? Where is the, I can go out and rat and make money. I can do whatever. If you don't like the ratting thing, then turn the rats up. Make them, a little more dangerous. Okay. Where the rats can kill your super carrier or whatever. Turn them up. But to do this offhanded kind of seems like half-assed, rolled out invasion that doesn't make sense now. Today it does not make sense. Maybe next week it has something to do with the Triglavians in low sec, and they're going to come to 0-0 and they're going to fight drifters, or who knows? I don't know. I don't know what goes through CCP's mind. I know Sov is still broken. I know the game is still broken. I'm always hopeful. I'm always like, there's one brilliant mind left at CCP that's going to save the day. And it's like, I hate joining the mantra that Eve is dying, but Eve is dying.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. A good company creates products its customers want to buy. The more you do things like this, or it boggles the mind who anywhere thought this was a good idea. Because here's what it does, right? So all the null-sec alliances pull back into their shell, into their space, and defend their space. Most of the null-sec alliance, the big blocks, we can all defend all this stuff. We have automated tools for pinging and all this stuff. The little guys who they professed for years that FozzieSov was going to allow them to move into null-sec are getting fucked over hard with this mechanic, right? So do you want to force all the little guys into the bigger guys? Because that seems the only viable solution here based on this. And the little guys are being hit. And it's not isolated, Xeris. It's everybody in nullsec. Your shit gets hit.
So I mean, literally, our audience today is like half of them are.
I like it though. I like the other. I like the half.
But I love these guys that say, "Oh, the goons got some structures hit. The sky is falling." That's not what anybody's saying. You think that goons, we don't play the game for us. We play the game because we like the game. We want to have fights. We're like the only entity on the frickin' face of Eve that doesn't give a shit if we lose a ship. But it's like, I don't get the mentality out there. I always say that. I don't understand you kids. Don't get it.
Well, Mithrandos The people who are cheering about Null being punished by this only lend credence to the same thing, right? They're like, oh, Nullsec tears, you guys can't handle some drifters coming in and hitting your structures, right?
No, we.
I don't
rat.
rat. I don't rat. I rarely mine, as newbie knows. You know, I don't give a shit.
I
about
do neither. I live for wars. That's what you want to see me happy.
Isn't there a planned next stage for the invasion? I mean, there's an invasion in HiSec. There's one in NullSec now. Doesn't take someone too smart to figure out what's next.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
Wormholes.
You know what I would completely enjoy, and see if these people do the same thing. If CCP is going to continue with this invasion storyline, it only makes sense that eventually they'll be in low-sec and high-sec. And it would just bring all kind of tear to my eye, you know, if Jita got glassed by drifters. I'd like to see these high-sec people try and coordinate and save some of those stations. It would be funny to me.
So Zeras, who is just literally becoming a mouth breather in front of my eyes,
I know,
says that we shouldn't report bots, or that we like bots and we're all bots. And even when CCP puts the statistics out about where all the banned bots came from, NCPL, I don't get it.
The thing is,
there is no hope for educating the retarded.
I'm just gonna. I want to point Zeras out on like a fallacy on what he said, and the thing is, Matani never, like, the intent of what Matani said was never don't report bots. It was don't report other Goon members to Goon leadership and start infighting.
Well,
You're welcome to fucking right click and report bot, but don't fucking start infighting for the sake of infighting. It's just stupid.
It's also what he said, and I agree with him, that we don't have the tools to see if someone is botting. I mean, someone could just be like sitting at their PC for 8 hours and actually paying attention, hitting those warps perfectly all the time. Players can do that. We can't see that they are doing it the same way to the millisecond every time. We don't have that data, so why should we be the ones hunting down the bots when we don't have that critical information to actually hunt them down?
Well, let's add to it. We're not paid to go and search out all the bots everywhere. CCP is.
I know.
It's their
I
job
pay CCP.
Yeah. By the way, I don't want bots. I hate bots. Newbie knows. Newbie doesn't like them.
You remember Asmok? You remember about 10 years ago, Asmok, and I told you this frickin' free-to-play bullshit was going to ruin the game, because I guarantee you these guys have never paid a dime of their money to play this game. Oh, no. And they're ratting and mining Plex to play this game for free. And they're like, oh, you got to report bots because it makes it harder for me to make money. And it's like, I pay to play this game. I put it on my credit card every year. I get my $500 bill or whatever the hell it is for 4 accounts. And it's like, you know, fuck you guys. I'm sorry. I'm tired of being nice to all you people playing on my back. Fuck you.
Bottom line is, I used to have a lot more than 3 accounts that I paid for annually, and I'm down to 3. And it isn't because it's really because I'm just tired of CCP.
Well, the other thing is, like, free to play shouldn't be a way to be able to play at, like, really and really, like, fully enjoy EVE. Like, the idea of, like, the free to play alpha account is to give you a hell of a lot more time to get in, you know, to get experience with the game, to understand how it works, and then, you know, feel confident about unlocking more of the game and, you know, actually being a full part of, like, you know, the entire experience. Like, it wasn't like, and CCP has a, you know, an obvious kind of reason to make sure that, you know, alpha play is not great, but at least passable, so you get a feel for the game, because it doesn't make any like any financial sense whatsoever for CCP to make the alpha gameplay really, really good, because then everyone will be playing alpha, and CCP's like income from subscriptions literally falls off a fucking cliff.
Carneros,
You know?
why are you talking in chat? You can come right into the on-air voice.
Yeah, dude.
You're always welcome. Who said NN Quantum, whatever his name is, CCP tired of making the game easy for you goons? Actually, this invasion is easy too. We're at a scale where it's not... this actually isn't about goons. This whole conversation, the people in the audience, if you think we're talking about this from a goon perspective, you're missing the point. We are talking about this from an EVE perspective and the quality of the game for all players, not just goons. If it's dumb gameplay and nobody's having a good time with it, it's not about goons. It's about all the people in that area of the game.
People always talk about making nullsec easier for small groups. This is kicking small groups in the teeth.
Oh, it's got to be terrible for a small group. A small group who can't be online 24/7 with people who can do the things 24/7 that need to be done to take care of this. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, because literally this shit happens in like EU Prime. So, what if you're some small Australian...
I was going to say, if
your
you need,
shit
like, a
gets
better
hit in the EU. How do you say it?
If you need like a better description of just the scale, like we are the Imperium of Man, and these are essentially just random orc raids. It's like, yeah, they're troublesome, but just take care of it.
Yeah,
troublesome, and the only reason why like collectively nullsec sort of freaked a little bit on that Wednesday when it started happening was because it was completely new. Nobody fucking knew what was actually going on. It was this big kind of like fucking mystery thing. That's all it was. That's the issue. The issue and the reason why people freaked out was because it was new and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Now we kind of have a good fucking sense of what's going on.
Oh, look at Barghost out
back
there.
north.
The reason why some of us are so mad isn't because CCP is trying something new, and not because they are attacking nullsec. It's because the whole mechanic is so fucking dumb. And by that, I mean dumb. They literally just spawn into system randomly and start shooting a random structure. And when that structure is reinforced, they go to the next. They don't plan. They don't come for the reinforcement timer on a structure. They just spawn randomly. If that
there's no
they just
I feel like what they could do. This is what they could do, is they could have them just automatically spawn on, say, structures that have been in inactive mode for, say, like, a week or more. And then if they want these things to actually attack other people's, things being used, what they should do is they should give a way for players to, I want to say, like, fight back, for example. Like, you could... they spawn in like a giant wormhole, and they have like wormhole stabilizers, and then if you build a fleet to go attack the wormhole stabilizers, it then destabilizes the wormhole and it collapses and all that fun stuff.
They will. Okay, so Jalian asked a question. So he wishes the drifters would finish off the... They do.
They do.
So the problem is if you leave one drifter in the system, they will keep respawning. So if they reinforce something today at noon, tomorrow at noon, if you left one drifter from that spawn, it's going to respawn all its friends, and tomorrow at noon, it's going to hit that same structure. Yeah. If you killed off the drifter, then it's going to go away. They're not going to come back tomorrow.
So they have killed structures. They do. It's random. They don't necessarily show up right at the timer. And I've been in a number of structures that I said, I'm going to pre-position there and wait for them the next day when that timer is up. I think I did 3 or 4, close to 5 timers this morning that I checked on, and they never showed up, and they just repaired. And they never spawned in that system at all during the day, and haven't all day today.
Now, once you kill them off, they're they're gone. But the mechanic is broken. I think that's actually a typical patch rollout. You know, something's not working right. So I'm sure they're fixing that as they go because they're watching their behavior of their created NPC.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't even want to get into the mechanics of the thing. I'm just trying to figure out what's the intent. So that's what I don't understand. You're not going to kill goons, all right? So, that's not your intent. The unintended consequence is any small alliance or corp or entity renter that lives in 0-0 that isn't available 24/7 can't defend their shit. What am I missing? What are we missing? Why wasn't there an announcement like, hey, this is where we're going?
I don't care that there wasn't an announcement, particularly if CCP has a history of doing world events like this. It could be cool, but it's not. There's no history for it. There's nothing that they did, right? It's not for the benefit of the game. I mean, what is the benefit to the game? To the player, to the person that pays? What am I getting? So, for instance, we just saw, hey, a small corp had 50 structures reft, and they can't defend it because they're not here around the clock or that time period. So, if I'm a small corporation and I am a renter and I can't keep my stuff reft and it gets all destroyed, stuff that I worked years to create, killed by an NPC. Now, I understand, because I put those structures up, that they could get killed by other bad guys and all. That's always an understood tactic, right? Now, the company that I pay has destroyed my structures with something that we never knew that we should protect against, right? So as a small corporation, does that entice my players to keep playing? Does that entice my players to live in small corps and get good fights? Or does that say, oh fuck, we just should have joined a corporation like Goons? What do you guys think? I mean, what would you do? What, as a player, why is this good for the game?
I'm just going to put something out here. People are saying this is CCP trying to avoid the blue donut. It creates the blue donut. It creates the blue donut. It's going to do the exact opposite. Like every nullsec alliance now has all their structures on the line. They are already seizing what they're doing and instead focusing on these drifters. Everyone stopped shooting each other. I'd say that's a blue donut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody, stop PvP content amongst yourselves warring, because we're going to create something that makes you all curl up into a ball and defend your space, not extend out and fight until we're done with this event. The CSM knew nothing Machine 1K. And in fact, I think they've shared. This is...
Jalen, outside of trolling comments in a chat nobody gives a fuck about, why don't you actually put something that makes sense and say, this is what I think the drifters do to the game. So how are the drifters actually affecting anything in the game right now?
In a positive way, right?
Take it.
In a positive way.
Well, while he writes that up,
We'd love your input.
Let's do a hypothetical here. What would you say if instead of like how the drifters work now, they would spawn like 1 or 2 wormholes per region where they pop out of every day, and then instead of just hitting random structures in that system, they gather up a fleet and then move through gates to their target, and then once they are there they start shooting stuff, and they actually follow up on timers, and instead of randomly targeting everything, they will go for structures that have not been used for a certain time. Structures that are in low power. You know, things that have been abandoned.
I would think that would be interesting. right? It actually achieves something. By the way, Barghost, you linked the thread that I started arguing with Hilmar in. I'm the one who brought him into that conversation that Aerith responded to. So it's not a good mechanic, and it's kind of like CCP is curling up like the armadillo, saying, "Well, we're not going to say anything because we don't know what to say because maybe we did fuck up."
I don't know.
I don't know.
just don't think in
Tell
a-
me.
I don't think in a sandbox game you try to drive content with an NPC. I just don't think that works. So maybe they think it works, and that's what Eve is going to turn into. Is we're always going to fight NPC blobs. I don't know.
Tell me.
I think it can work if you do it right. Just look at incursions when they got into the game. People were trying to figure out how to run incursions, and at the same time, PvPers were trying to figure out how to kill the people running the incursion. And it does actually work. There's a whole thing around that. Incursion runners trying to do their thing while also trying to avoid being dropped on. And since incursion systems are Cyanogen, that makes it interesting.
Right.
But you don't have that with this Drifter invasion.
But they're not forming fleets. So they're just randomly spawning and going structure to structure to structure to structure.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, there is no incentive for people to come in and harass people dealing with them, because the way you deal with them is by gumming structures. There are no kill melts to be had. There is no money to be had by coming in and looting the drifters. That thing is worth nothing that drops, right? There's no incentive here for PvP.
I don't know. I've made like almost $1 billion in, drifter goo.
Yeah, but it's not worth.
With
an incursion, when someone kills an incursion,
yeah,
it is totally worth warping in and trying to. If you get one of the BPCs,
right,
you're made, right? You don't have that here. Like a single Drifter VS drops like 2 to 5 million in loot. That's nothing.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's not ships shooting them. It's 95% of these drifters are being killed by structure. You can't do anything against structures with a small PvP game.
So Noisy Gamer makes a point that, there should be a means to an end with the salvage and stuff. But then other guys are like, hey, there's too many structures in the game. So obviously you have never watched this show, ever. Yeah. This is like your first day.
Or the meta show, right?
And being in goons about how much we hate structures, and I hate going into my own system. I hate managing the structure. I hate everything about the structures. I hate asset safety. I hate structures. There are too many structures. There's way too many structures. Kill all the structures. But stop blaming goons for structures. CCP made the mechanic. Goons didn't make the mechanic. So
by the way, goons told CCP it was a bad idea to let structures be anchored anywhere in space and not having the limiting factor of making them by a celestial like the pauses were. Okay? So when you talk about, like, and the guy's in there saying, hey, this is just null salt and goon salt. By the way, that doesn't bother us at all, because this isn't a conversation about Goonswarm. This doesn't affect us. Okay? It affects everybody else, and that is what's bad for the game, and that is the argument on this show. This show has had CCP devs on it a number of times, and even when we disagree with them, and by the way, we are highly critical of CCP all the time, we treat them all with respect all the time when they're on the show, okay? So it's not something that bothers us, okay? But somebody out there who likes the fact that this is causing whatever chaos they believe it's causing and all, right? They like the drama. That's great. But other than the drama, what is this doing? Is this somehow making people want to play the game, or is it making people not want to play the game? That is the threshold and the metric that CCP should use their PKI for if they did something good in the game. And from my perspective, the people saying, yes, I love this, are the people who don't live in those areas. And the people who live in those areas are kind of saying,
Actually,
not
no,
engaging.
it's not, Spider. It's not a propaganda. This is not a Goons Forum show. We have had many guests on here from other alliances. I mean, it's like we talk about the game and the game state, not about how it affects Goons, because you can't affect Goons. And the reason I say you can't affect Goons is, 2 years ago, all of Eve was like, Goons are dead, ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, right? We're dead. And well, guess what? 2 years later, here we are, and it's the same old shit. Oh, Goons are ruining the game. Oh, God. Stop the Goons.
And this is coming from an ex-IT guy as well.
Yeah, by the way,
So you
ex-IT guy below me, right there, right? And there are a number of ex-IT guys out there in the audience that are here too. It's yeah. And by the way, if Goons lose a structure, if Goons lose 100 structures, we're just gonna rebuild them in a short order.
God, if we lost 35 keep stars, we'd still have more than the rest of the game. Oh no.
By the way, I did enjoy when I was fighting a fleet and they had all had it with me because they were hitting the gate, and they were had it with me harassing them from the keep star, that they all warped to the keep star at 0. That really worked out well for them.
That ended well. That ended well. Well, it was very nice of CCP to make them doomsday immune. I mean, how stupid is that? I can DD a frickin' Ibis with a keep star, but I can't DD a frickin' Drifter. What the fuck is that?
I mean, we had a certain alliance leader today gunning, I believe it was a Force, and he went and activated the PDS to kill the drifters. And then he went away to make food.
Uh-oh.
PDS was still on.
Hey, don't anybody warp to 0.
Yeah, I actually feel badly for Horde because they actually undocked to fight, and they're obviously experimenting. But looking at the BWF sheet in the kill, they're having a bad day. There's been a couple of hey, hold my beer moments, because there was a really nice Hodred that died poorly.
How many billion was that? Oh yeah, they're not
Yeah,
having.
that's nice.
Our enemies are not having a good time.
I believe I also saw a dead super, but I don't know if that was the drifter.
Yes, there was a dead super in period basis. He got caught on a gate by the.
Yeah, it was a hell, right? It was a hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Here,
I think
hold
that's
my beer. I'm going after these drifters.
By the way, I think that was the same hell that I forget. I think it was EIM or something like that. I was manning the station, and he was tethered.
Yep.
And then when I cleared out the all but one, because one guy warped away, right? I was wondering if later that wasn't him just getting caught by them.
He got caught.
Yeah, it's if you look at the kill boards, it's very clear what's happening and who's affected negatively by this, and it's not Goon Swarm. And and when we say that things are not good for Null, they're not good for anybody in Null, because if all of Null disappears, we don't have anything to do. Okay? I mean, there is revenge that will be taken out for doing things against us, but that's Eve. Every war in Eve is a revenge war from forever. Okay? And those things are going to happen. I don't know. I mean, you take a segment of the game and you program it. This is player content generated sandbox. And then you take that piece of the game. I mean, if CCP wants to clear out citadels with this mechanic, right? They're going to get a couple, I'm sure, and structures and things. But again, somebody, please, somewhere, either in chat or in there, Carnero, somebody who thinks they can articulate what positive generation for CCP, if anything, is going to be generated from this.
The thing here is, of course, there should be risk. But there should always be a reward for dealing with that risk. And there's no reward for this shit. So if this keeps going on, what's going to happen is that all the nullsec guys are just going to say, fuck it, we're packing up, and everyone's going to lowsec. Have fun, lowsec people, dealing with all of those big nullsec alliances coming over because they don't want to deal with drifters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this
maybe it
isn't-
was the way to. I mean, LowSec is dead. I think all of Eve would agree that it's completely broken. Maybe this is their way to force smaller nullsec alliances into LowSec.
I don't know.
I
I mean,
don't know.
I truly don't know what they're trying to do with the mechanic because it isn't player enjoyment.
I really don't think Jalen even
No,
understands.
he's just a troll. He's just a troll.
concept of good.
He's
just
always
a
just
troll.
been a troll.
I'm sorry, Jalen, but dude, I mean, it's like, oh, this is a good propaganda show. Okay, well then go make an NCPL propaganda show. Oh wait, you have Reddit. Oh, I forgot. I
Yeah.
call this equal time then.
Oh,
Remind
yeah,
me
GIS
again,
too.
what alliance is Matterall in?
Who is Matterall?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Oh,
the
he-
one that I know Mitani? I know Matterall.
Jalen, you don't. Jalen, you don't even make a salient
You don't
point.
make a you.
I've yet to see
Jalen,
a good point from him.
Yeah.
Jalen, you're like my stereotypical why I don't like millennials.
See, there's
Hey, you can't do that to part of our viewing public, newbie. You can't alienate them like that. Okay?
You can't alienate your fellow.
I want the senior
host.
citizens. I'm for the senior citizen coalition. All right.
All right, well, screw you and your
I want
senior
all the
citizens.
senior citizens in our. We can talk about important things like depends and bladder control issues and things like that. None of this frickin' Triglavian drifter shit.
How does your capsuleer deal with the bladder
What?
control issue?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen, Freedom Tower, all you guys, you know, you're what is the point of the drifter invasion? Somebody just
I mean,
type it up.
I mean, to be fair,
Zero.
I think Julian knows a lot more than he makes out. I think he actually knows the reason why drifters are attacking nullsec. So, like, I think he should type that out in chat and let us all know.
All right, I'm
Hold
going
it,
to give you
Caleb.
guys...
No, it's not the clean structures.
Whoa, Caleb.
Oh my God, a Caleb sighting.
Wow.
He doesn't even play Eve anymore.
K-Killer just solved the mystery here.
Oh, he did?
Quote, it's not a fuck up, it's a surprise mechanic.
Oh, fuck off with that shit.
Hey.
You know what? We are going to have to end the show.
Yeah, we
soon.
all have important spaceship
Meeting.
meetings to go to.
The whole point of the Drifters was to ruin my fun in war. Go watch a couple episodes back when I was like super freaking stoked for a war, and then poof, Drifters, you motherfucker.
Noisy, we
Hey,
definitely,
hey,
definitely
hey,
get more.
hold it.
My salt plug got packed up because of the.
Let me do something here. You guys are gonna maybe it'll be like typical Eric is just fucking stupid and is not funny, but maybe it will be funny, okay? Hi, I'm from CCP. I'm not here to ruin the game. I'm here to ruin your game. No.
Did
not
anybody
funny?
report
Okay,
them
sorry.
for botting yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah,
Who's
report.
reported CCP for botting?
I believe we do have somebody here in the co-host bin here who actually did report CCP for botting.
Well, we do.
We have a
We
screenshot.
do have a bunch of people in the audience who are worried about goons reporting bots. So I want to know when they're going to report all these bots for CCP botting.
Input broadcasting.
Get
Oh,
busy,
totally, bud.
boys!
Totally, bud. Let's get this.
Hey, you know, if the devs want to get rid of structures, they can fucking log in and actually do it themselves the old-fashioned way. What is this writing shit
I wish
code?
they would. I wish they.
And the really funny thing is, I would like to actually sort of say, like, you know, some people are like, oh yeah, but it's new AI and everything like that. It's not fucking new AI. It's just the fucking diamond AI that they put together ages ago.
Yeah.
But they
By the way,
put a
Freedom
diamond
Tower.
AI together that literally moves anywhere between 3K and 6K a second, and then does this random warpy shit at the same distance all the time around your structure. It can sit there and hit your structure at 500K and pause it. It's pretty cool. You can't probe it down. If you burn to it, you're fucked. So I don't know what the point is. I don't get it.
It's just I find it ridiculous because it's game developers basically going, well, we can't make something that is logical, but it is powerful. No, we can't do that. Let's just make it ridiculously powerful, completely illogical, and then that'll make sure that we
That'll
don't
show those
get caught
players.
Hold it. Another thing that came from Goons is, hey CCP, do you think the Rorqual might be a little too powerful? We think it might break the game if you make it that powerful. 17 nerfs later, it's still too powerful. But CCP said, "Oh, we'll just nerf it. We want to make it powerful so people buy it."
I just love the fact that every single issue that that's come up that's been negative for CCP has always been one that the CSM has basically said, this is going to be fucking terrible if you carry on doing this.
You know how they avoided that? They didn't tell the CCP about this one.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's it's either the ones they tell about and then the CSM goes, that's a terrible idea, or it's one that they don't even pass, to the CSM to let them know about it.
Somebody got it. They're going to introduce gold ammo, and we'll be able to hit the drifters only with the gold ammo. This is how they're going to bring it in.
I only want some Omega gold ammo.
Omega
gold ammo.
Omega gold, baby. By the way,
someone just made a point here.
What?
I'd like to know what big alliances, particularly Goons, will do to stop botting and using spies on comms. First of all, we can't do anything about botting because, as I said already, we don't have the tools to find out who's botting. We simply can't look at someone's computer and see what they're running.
Why should we?
And
we can assume.
Hey, you mind if I play the game too?
No.
Spies on comms. All right. Let me preface this here and let me tell you who I am.
He's prefacing.
Fuck you. All right. let me tell you who I am and what I do in Goonswarm. I teach the new FCs, right? I'm the guy sitting down with them and teaching them how to FC. And spies on comms, spies on your own comms, is really fucking useful. It is part of the metagame. It is part of EVE. And if you get rid of that, the best part of FCing is gone. Because there's so much you can do when you know the enemy has a spy on your comm. You can fool them so well with that.
I've seen it many, many times, and it's interesting when that happens because you kind of you see that you kind of if you know what to look for, you see the kind of the orders going out on comms and interesting things happening, and you're you instantly kind of realize you kind of that's not specifically for us.
It transforms EVE from a simple N+1 to 3D chess.
Oh yeah.
I love our audience.
Goons have always operated under the assumption.
3D glasses on. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready. Let's go.
Goons have always fought under the assumption that they have a spy on comm. That's the only way of dealing with it, and that makes it so much more interesting too.
There's a reason I don't FC. I'm not smart enough.
Always preface your spice.
Spice on comms, baby.
Right there.
You know what they say? He controls the spice.
I love Soth. I've known Soth for a long time too.
I like Soth too. He's the only one who talks to me.
I've known Soth for a long time as well.
Dude, we're way over as fuck.
We are. So, just real quick, so let's do 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. We'll wrap up the show. Thank you, everybody in the audience, even the people who just posted salt all the time. Thank you very much for watching the show. We do appreciate it. And if one of you or somebody actually really has an alternative point of view that they want to chat with me, ping me in Discord.
Hey, I got a J tweet.
And you know, I mean, we don't care if you disagree with us. People who have come on the show with differing points of view have always said in the after shows, I'm really surprised you guys just didn't gang up on me and beat me up. You just kind of treated me nice, and we do that. So there's one thing when we're arguing, one thing we're not. Also, if you enjoyed the show, please follow Imperium News. We are here every week almost. We take 1 or 2 weeks off a year. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, convert it to Twitch Prime, and you can sub to the channel for free to you every month. So, yeah, Jalen, call you, just a troll. We're having, nope, it's not what I do. We'll have a conversation, Jalen, if you ping, and we'll see if you're worthy to be on the panel one week.
Hey, you want to be on the show, Jalen?
There are people like
Come
Sothercell
on.
who have free reign to pop in anytime they want to. Apple Pear was all jazzed to come, but he had something else he had to do. So
Oh yeah, Noisy
Apple
was-
Pear is way more angrier than any of
Oh, yeah.
us about these drifters.
Oh, totally.
So-
Noisy Gamer also makes a good point that at the moment you can still pick up the Twitch kind of bundle for EVE Online, which gives you like a whole bunch of stuff, really cool stuff, including I think it's a Synesis and a cool skin for it as well, and a whole bunch of other things, including I think skins.
yep. So let's go
we
around the
didn't
room.
even we didn't even get to talk about the million skill point bullshit. Wow.
I don't really think that's. I really don't care, but it is an indicator to me that they need to raise money. They're not meeting their revenue targets. Guaranteed, that's what that's
Well,
about.
I'll tell you how to raise money is increase your retention rate.
Yeah,
Increase your player base to people who want to play the game against each other.
make cool stuff in the game
Yeah.
that we want to log in and do. So one last thing, I'm going to go around. I'm going to start with the guy who's not on camera. And I'm going to start with RJ, see if he's bringing the groceries in still. Are you still?
No, that was
Okay.
like
Okay.
half hour.
Okay. You got one last thing for us today?
Yeah, thanks a lot for ruining the fucking war, CCP. I love you guys, but what the fuck?
Yeah. All right, Soth, you're up, baby.
Hashtag engaging gameplay.
Fantastic. All right, McLeod.
I don't have much, but I guess thanks Bulmers for making a nice cider that I was enjoying at the start of the show.
Fantastic. I have to go after the Kremlin meeting and go buy beer for a graduation party. So
Not bad.
this show did get
That
me out of
should end
setting up.
well.
Yeah, I wonder if we have
Yingling?
holes in all our tents. Of course there's Yingling.
Yeah.
Like a travesty.
Exactly. Nice.
Newbie bought half of the entire state's, Newbie, you're up.
Yeah,
Private
so
placement.
I already know and agree with you on that, Bardgus. But hey, audience, it's great. And as always, we are not a goon propaganda show. We actually care about the entirety of the game and whether or not people are able to play the game and log in and have fun. So, it's not fun doing a show over stupid fucking meta dumb shit. I mean, it's like, wow. If you don't think drifters are dumb right now, then he truly is dead. It's dead. It's gone. Long live the queen.
Yes.
It's dead, Jim.
So if you think we are a goon propaganda channel, that's not true. It's only when Paramedic is here. He's the only propaganda person we have. Everything else that we say here is truly because we like playing the game as Goon Swarm because it's just a lot more fun that way.
Hey, did you send Jaylee the Discord?
I did
You should
not.
Send Jaylee the
I-
Discord so
Can
that
somebody
he
do
can
that?
come on.
Can somebody do that?
Because we will have any differing opinion on this
Well,
show.
as long as you're not a tool. I mean, we're going to talk to you and make sure.
We
that-
actually
you got it?
differ
All right,
with
Janet,
each
good.
other.
Yeah, we do. We've been known to argue a little bit in the pre-show and post-show. All right. We got to go, gents. We got a meeting. And... Hold on. I'm reading something.
I love
just laughing. This is going to be a great meeting.
Occurred.
Everybody,
Okay.
we will see you later. Same time next week. Same bat channel. Same bat place, bat time, bat poop, whatever. Later. Everybody, wait, bye.
Stay safe in real life, boys.
That's right. Stay safe in real life, even if you're not a goon.
Happy early America week.
There you go. I don't know if that got out. I clicked the button.
Okay. I am